Hey guys, so I am just off of Carpenter Road in Orange City, that's the Hollywood Cemetery. When you cross a fence, you come to the Lincoln Cemetery. And as I have learned, it is common in Florida and probably all over the South for the black folks to be buried on separate land when black folks had to be buried in segregated plots. So this is Lincoln. And of course, it's a sand pit, something else I've learned about Central Florida. That's Hollywood on the other side of the fence, watered, landscaped, maintained. And here's Lincoln with no specific designated driveways. I could be driving over a grave right now. I have no way of knowing. There's an obvious turnaround here. I'm not going to drive any farther, but this is very common. The black folks get buried in the sand pit, demarcated from the white folks. And I've already seen there are a lot of veterans here. So let's take a look. So I had tried to go to an abandoned cemetery that's on the other side of town. The Methodist Memorial Cemetery, I believe it's called, where less than 100 people are interred. It's in a rural part of town, an unincorporated part of town where there's a dirt road. And unfortunately, what happened was when I got there, I saw that it was posted private property. That was very disappointing. But I'm not one of those people that's going to walk on a posted private property place. A lot of people do. I will not do that. Sadly disappointed. I came back here, a cemetery that I tried actually to come to about a year ago. And the front gate off of Carpenter Road was closed. So it was not the right time for me to come. So now this looks like it might be active. That's pretty recent. The white cemetery in front, Hollywood, there's actually an internment ceremony going on right now. This looks, though not cared in the way that Hollywood Cemetery is, this certainly looks alive in the fact that people's resting places are honored. So, as was the case in my last trip, I had put the prayers out for the souls at the Methodist Memorial. These guys didn't know I was coming here. Or, well, maybe they did. Look, we've got a homeless camp back here. That's not uncommon. A lot of times there are homeless people that live around cemeteries because they're peaceful. Cemeteries are very safe. They really are. They're very safe. And I love this. I found the stones around black cemeteries, black grave sites are very common. And if they were Gullah Geechee or island people, then there might be shells. So I wasn't necessarily called to this area. I just walked over here because it was closer. I haven't really had a chance to put out to these people that, oh, that person died very recently, 2020. Not old at all. It's so beautiful here. Gorgeous. So, I have one dowsing rod because I'm holding the camera with the other. Can't use two. These are all fairly recent, and you know, that's usually not my mojo. I'm starting to get the tingling in the top of my head. So, connecting with things that are going on here. I haven't put the rod up yet, but I'm pulled over here now. We've got a veteran right here. There's a veteran there as well. This is something I've seen. This is something that I saw at the Masonic Cemetery in Palm Coast. This is a military stone, but this is something that I've seen where there's some kind of wash that they put on the stone. Not sure what it was. Now, this is World War I. Mr. Isaiah Tillman was a private in the Army. Actually, I was attracted to it because of the military stone, but I think Mr. Tillman has something to say. I'm going to stand here a minute. I think Mr. Tillman has something to say. Looks like he died in... Boy, I can't read it. Now it's gone. I think he just maybe wanted the acknowledgement. But, as is often the case, sometimes what comes after the fact. So let's see. Let me stand under this magnificent tree. And let's ground. Grounding, please. Grounding. Grounding. Thank you. Can you show me yes, please? Oh, there's a wild turkey. Look at that magnificent turkey. Look at that. You know, there is another cemetery just a few minutes from here in the town of DeLeon Springs, where there are peacocks that hang out in the cemetery. Look at that, Tom. He knows that I know he's here because he's crested his tail. See, he's flexing. Oh, that's magnificent. He is flexing at me. Oh my gosh. That's glorious. Okay, I'm going to take my attention off of him. I'm going to take my attention off of him. Glorious. Okay. All right. Let's try again. Grounding, please. Can you show me yes, please, today? What does yes look like, please? So yes is kind of 10 o'clock, 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock. Can you show me a no reading, please? And I don't know if you can hear it, but on the other side there's obviously school because I hear the children. That distracted me. No is straight ahead today. All right. Am I welcome here by those resting? Am I welcome here today? And that's a yes. Is there anyone here that has a message they'd like to share? And that's a yes today. Can you please lead me to the first person? That's a yes. Okay. Can you show me which way to walk, please? Please direct me the direction to walk. Yeah, the turkey. Every time I look at the turkey, he flexes. He's got his tail down, but then whenever I look at him, he flexes. He's like, just leave me alone, lady. Okay, so we're walking in this direction. Okay, I didn't walk very far, and then baby started going crazy. See, these are so disturbing. All that this family had the money for at the time, obviously, was the burial. They didn't have the money for any kind of headstone. This is just a plate that would have been placed by the mortuary company, and now it's gone. So we don't know who's here. We don't know who's there either, though they have a nice tomb. Anyway, someone around here. I wonder, is it this person? Oh my goodness. Is it this person? Yes, okay, all right. It's this person right here. Oh my goodness, okay. All right, so sitting and waiting. Grasshopper just came into view. I don't know if the camera caught it or if you heard it, but just grasshopper is right there, and now he's moving around. All right. Wonder if he's part of the committee of familiars. I'm getting something coming in right over my left eye. Coming in. Bright, but not hot. Were you a man? No. No. So, were you a woman? Yes. And did you live past the age of 50? Did you live past the age of 40? Okay. So this woman died between 40 and 50. Actually, there are 3 here that have similar. I wonder if this is a family here. I'm waiting. Okay, I'm starting to see her. She died between 40 and 50. Did you die in the 1960s? No. Did you die in the 1950s? Did you die in the 1970s? Did you die in the 1980s? She died in the 80s. All right, I'm seeing a woman, stout. She has, either her hair is very short or she has it up somehow. She has more, shall we say, West African features. She's stout but not fat. A solid woman in her life. I'm seeing her in a very colorful loose dress. Her hair is maybe plaited somehow. It's not just natural and out. It's either short or it's plaited, braided somehow. It's close to her head. It might be tied back. I can't tell. She has on a very colorful dress, and she's stout but not fat. She's, as I said, kind of West African kind of structure and featured. Very wide face, full lips, quite dark toned. And she is not particularly sad. There's pain, though. There's pain around her. It's hard to tell with some races of people who, white folk, our hair turns gray early. My hair started turning gray in my 40s. A lot of black folk are in their 60s and 70s and still have that beautiful dark hair. So I can't tell by the color of her hair how old she is. She has a body that would indicate that she has definitely had children, though. There's a natural widening around the hip area that occurs. She's just kind of watching. It's like she's summoning me, beckoning me to just pay attention. I can't help but notice that tree, how it's up. These are lovely and straight, and that one is, and the one behind it are very tilted. I suspect that there's water back there. Everything else is quite straight. But that tree, things like that catch my attention. Must be water back there. I just heard Gladys. Gladys? Ma'am, are you kind of checking me out before I keep walking around? Yeah, she's checking my energy before I go in any further. Okay. I'm not feeling anything really poignant coming from you. Pain and discomfort, yes. But I also sense you had a life well lived. You were in pain at the end of your life. I get that. May I proceed, ma'am? And she's saying yes. All right. So shall we say she's one of the envoys? And maybe she's a matron. Maybe she's just she's one of the first ones that was here. And I hear those grasshoppers. Do you see that grasshopper? I don't know if it's getting it. We've got a veteran back there, World War II. The Frasers and the Taylors. Okay. Is there anyone else here that has something? Yes. Can you direct me which direction to walk, please? Can you show me by the direction to walk? I'm being led back here to what might be a pauper area, and I say that because there are PVC crosses. There's also some very nice stones. You see there's one there that looks to be an angel. This is the direction I'm being led. And this feels older, definitely. But you see how there's just simple posts. That is often how pauper graves are marked. There is a pauper's field in the town next door, DeLand, that I've done a video about, where peacocks also hang out. They have some of those, but in many cases, actually, they have the simple plate, like that one on the concrete. But someone over here I'm being, oh, and it's going crazy. Somewhere over here I'm being led. Okay. I see some homemade stones. I also see some family stones. See this one right here is homemade. You can see, you can almost see the hand that made it. Oh, look at that. Isn't that beautiful? There was a piece of glass that's inset in the concrete, and I don't know if there was a picture or something that was in there. And here we've got one that you can see the person's, they had a stick in their hand and they were writing. Somewhere over here. Mrs. Williams died in 1912. No, it's somebody here. We've got a veteran right there. Okay, is it Mrs. I can't read it. Let's see. Sims, perhaps? I can't read any of that. Louise. Last name starts with an S. Born December 3rd. Louise, someone. Louise, are you the person calling me? Yes. To this person. Remember, straight ahead is no today. Is this woman here, Louise, the one calling me? And that's a yes. Okay. And again, I've got grasshoppers back here. Very interesting. The familiars. This is a lovely place to be resting under. And there's a lot going on out there. Those of you that are sensitive to elementals, there are some watching me. There are a lot of elementals around cemeteries, especially ones like this, the ones that are in disrepair. A lot of elementals around there. So, Miss Louise. Miss Louise was tall. She was tall and I want to say strong but lean, athletic. No woman in those times of any race that worked would have been anything but athletic. This was farmland and orchards, and you know, if the woman wasn't doing labor in the fields and whatnot, they might have been cleaning houses or secretaries doing something like that. Take another look, see if I can. Louise. Louise. I'm trying to feel. Sneed, Louise Sneed, born December 3rd, died. I'm trying to feel it. 1984? 1904, born 1904, died 1984? Oh my. LOU L-O-U, Louise Sneed. You know what? I'm not sure if it is Louise because was this person's name Louise? That's a no. Was this person's name Lewis? Yes, so this is not Louise, this is Lewis. So this is a man. Is this a man? Yes, okay. Well, so tall and athletic is not unusual. These were all laboring people here. 84. 80s. Died in his 80s, certainly. Lighter skinned man. I'm seeing him near the end of his days, not in his working time. It might not be when he was in his 80s, but I'm seeing him in his elder days. A little lighter skinned. Cafe au lait, my goodness. The grasshoppers are just going crazy. Given that you died in your 80s, sir. Oh my God, there's the turkey again. And the turkey's talking. Do you see he's flexing again? And a big hawk just flew over. So there's a lot going on right now. Oh my God, this turkey's magnificent. He's behind that tree. Here he comes. Good God, he is glorious. And he's flexing. Okay, well, you knew I was here. I love how protective he is of this area. The peacocks that I've encountered at the two cemeteries, the Pauper's Field in DeLand and the cemetery in De Leon Springs, they're very easily shied. They take off. This guy, this is his run. I've got, I don't know, can you hear and see the grasshoppers? The grasshoppers are surrounding me now. This is fascinating. Lewis. He's just also kind of standing. What I was going to ask is, did you live into your 80s, sir? And I got a yes and I got a gaggle. Did you die of natural causes, sir? Yeah, that's good. I'm not sensing any pain, as I did with the woman earlier, the stout matron earlier. She wasn't very old. She died between her 40s and 50s, but matronly nonetheless. Do you hear all the grasshoppers? Stuff's going crazy. This is, you know, in a lot of these neglected cemeteries, segregated cemeteries, the animals really own them. They really protect them. I'm not getting anything. Again, I'm just getting that he's kind of like he's checking me out. Patron. He's just looking at me. He's got on like khaki-ish kind of loose pants and a loose cotton shirt. Sleeves are rolled up. She's just kind of looking at me. Nothing tragic. I'm just going to walk. I'm not feeling anything real. Oh my God, this was a murder. Anything coming out of here. It seems like a very peaceful place. And I will tell you, the black cemeteries, the abandoned cemeteries are, in my opinion, in my experience, a lot more peaceful than the well-protected white cemeteries. And I think that has to do with the living that still come to them, the energy that they bring. 1941, 1907. Oh, I was a baby. Born in 1906, died. Well, she lived 2 months. Beatrice. Oh gosh. And then another 2 babies died. So 1906 died 1907. Born 1904 in December, died August 1941. Plus both their babies. That would have been the father. Let's see the mother. Babies are always heartbreaking. Yeah, it's so peaceful here. And we've got, that's probably another baby over there because it's a lamb. That's the Hollywood Cemetery on that side of the fence. It isn't necessarily a baby, but lambs are usually, I have come to understand, babies or children. I think I'm just being checked out. It's, peaceful. There's just not a lot of drama here. Sometimes cemeteries are full of drama. Here's a beautiful handmade stone. You can tell by the flowers, even though they're plastic, that families keep this place alive. And they have that. Oh, it's a baby. Was born in April of 1911 and died August of either 12 or 17. These are all the Tillman family. There's Mr. Tillman. He was private first class in World War I. This caught my attention. Oh no. Armani. So this was a little boy who perhaps was stillborn, but died in his first year. Now I'm curious about these. Again, like this is common to be like Pauper's Field type of piece. We don't know who they are. They're just marking. A lot of these people really didn't have money, which is why you see these lovely handmade concrete stones. They could afford a bag of concrete. Again, all we've got is the plate from the cemetery. Not the cemetery, the funeral home, and once that is lost, everything else is lost. And we don't know who that is in that crypt. This is Lloyd James Wiggins, private U.S. Army. Okay. Died 1944, born 1889. My goodness. Sir, thank you. Honestly, nothing is really calling me today. It's very peaceful and beautiful here. Faustina Howell and Jacob Hall. So they're both here. That's lovely. You know, I'm just getting light. Like it's very peaceful. These people seem to have had a lot of Tillmans here. That's interesting. I would say that a lot of these people had just simple, hardworking lives and were able to have families and enjoy their families, and were laid to rest with a lot of love. Reminds me of the way I feel at the Gullah Geechee Cemetery, which is called Palm Springs Cemetery, I believe, in Jacksonville. It's in a Gullah Geechee neighborhood. And it is just the most gloriously light-filled, beautiful place, full of handmade stones with inset shells into the wet concrete. And it's very much a living place. The families protect it. They visit their loved ones on a regular basis. It reminds me of that here. Here we have, let's see, Private 14th Service Company, 20 Engineers, World War I, Mr. Eugene Jackson. It's a very nice stone. Mrs. Huff. Yeah, very peaceful here. Now, I don't know. I know that there were some black communities in this area. One of them was called Garfield, and it was originally founded by freed slaves. And I tried to go to the old Garfield Cemetery, but it's also on private property. And again, I'm not going to walk on private property. I'm not going to walk through somebody's yard or driveway or anything like that to get to a cemetery. But it saddens me because there are very, very old stones there. This place is very much alive. And it's sad that the very old cemetery, for instance, the Garfield Cemetery, is not allowed to be alive because it's on private property and I don't know who to contact to go. Perhaps the family can go. Don't know. Small cemeteries like that I've noticed in North Central Florida. If you are family, you are allowed to visit. Oh goodness, look at this. So here we're on the periphery, we're in the woods. The family members probably planted that tree, but you see, there's someone right here. There's someone right here, and we have no idea who. There could be more back here. They either planted that tree or they placed them by that tree. But now they're lost. Yeah, you know, I'm just getting kind of a well-protected holy place. Mr. Singletary from World War II. I still have the same light, but not heat, coming in right over my left eye. That's been prevalent all throughout. That is not to say that anyone here didn't die painfully or even necessarily violently, but they're not calling me. Well, this is sad. Someone born in 1960, as I was, and died 27 years later. Someone born in 1907. At first I thought it was a baby because it's small, but it's not. They lived to their 70s, so that's okay. That's sad. 27. They'd be my age if they were still around. So it's nice. That's fantastic. Yeah, this is a very peaceful place. And it seems I was greeted by people who are kind of, shall we say, the watchers, along with the Tom Turkey, who's definitely the patriarch of the joint. All right, well, I'm very happy that this is such a peaceful place. And again, I had planned last night when I started praying, meditating, whatever you want to call it, to go to the other place. Those are the messages I put out, that I was coming there. I didn't decide I was coming here until I discovered that I couldn't go to the other one. So I didn't send out any telegrams to these people. And, you know, their souls aren't always here. And they're not always in a frequency that my stupid 3D self can obtain. You know, I didn't even walk over here. Let's walk over here. So as I'm pulling out of the Lincoln Cemetery, driving past the periphery of the Hollywood Cemetery, I see that's a Civil War stone right there. And that's in the Hollywood Cemetery. That's a Civil War stone. And I don't want to go in here because you see the cars in the front, and there's an internment going on. But I was attracted to the Civil War stone. Might be right there. That might be another Civil War stone. Let's get on the other side of it. I can't read it from here, but it looks like it is shape-wise. Okay, I'm going to turn the camera off because I don't want to film these people as they're laying their loved one to rest. Hey guys, so I'm back in my car. Got my little pop-up computer desk here. I'm sitting in the back. This is the Hoodoo Tarot from Miss McQuiller. And I didn't get anything really strong from Lincoln Cemetery, but I wanted to see if there was anything else. Again, I did not end up where I expected to be today, so the spirits that happen to be there are either hang around, frequent that place all the time, or they kind of came in. So I just want to see real quick with an ancestral reading that I learned recently if there's anything else that wants to be said. I changed angles, and I just hope that the tripod stays there. I'm sitting here in a parking lot. I've got my solar panel up on the top of the car, charging my unit back up. Had a couple oranges, not feeling very hungry, though I do need to eat because I'm going to work tonight. Let's see. So, any other messages from the unnamed woman who came through as Gladys? Remember, her nameplate from the funeral home is gone. But what I heard was Gladys. And then there was a handmade concrete stone that was hard to read. At first I thought it was Louise, and then I asked if it was a man, and I got that it was a man, and I asked if it was Lewis, and I was told that it was a Lewis. But I want to see if there's anything else. So, to the two ancestors in the Lincoln Cemetery today, is there anything else that you would like me to know or share? Any other message that needs to come through? Take my hands off the cards for a second, because I honestly think that the bulk of what I was supposed to garner from that visit today came from the turkey, the hawk that flew over my head, and all the grasshoppers. But we'll see. So the woman I'm calling Gladys, and Mr. Lewis. Is there anything else? So I'm going to do this reading. It's a 7-card reading. And the first card that's going to come is me and where I stand in this relationship with these people today. Wow. Queen of Cups. Wow. Okay. As this card indicates, very nurturing, loving, giving. Cups are emotions, feelings. The good part of the Queen of Cups is she's very much matriarchal, giving, nurturing, loving. Potentially the bad part of the Queen of Cups is she's very emotional. But this is what they think of me. And I am being told that they think that I'm coming with an open heart. Maybe an open heart that's a little heavy sometimes, and that is certainly true. But okay, so that's what they think of me. Okay. What do they... Are they receptive to my visit? Were they receptive to my visit? I was hoping for something to just fly out, but it doesn't seem like it's going to. Are they receptive to my visit? Were they receptive to my visit? Okay. Let's do it my standard way. Were they receptive to my visit? Seven of Swords. Card of Strategy. That is so interesting. The image there. Not the typical Seven of Swords image. You know, I had this deck about 2 years ago, and someone that I knew liked it so much that I just gave it to them, and I recently repurchased it. But you see, she's cooking, she's smiling, but look on the wall behind her. The swords are not far away. The knives are close. Um, she will nurture, she will protect, but don't play because she knows how to use those knives. She cooks with them. So I'm kind of getting here. Obviously, we've got a real strong feminine presence. That's the first thing I get. And the first person that reached out to me is the woman that I heard the name Gladys. That was the first person that reached out. And I got that she died between 40 and 50. So still a young woman. And I got that she died in the 80s sometime. So a young woman, and that was certainly young in those days as well. So were they okay with me being there? Yes. But they're careful. They're welcoming because they're spirit. But there is a cautionary element. You know, a lot of black cemeteries have been raided, robbed. There is a magnificent black cemetery in Daytona Beach called Mount Ararat, where the last gentleman who was lynched in Volusia County is buried. His name was, I don't remember his first name, but his last name was Sneed. He had served in the Army and he was a taxi driver, and I actually did a video about it. But that cemetery, for the crypts that are built up with brick, because it's a black cemetery in Florida, so it's on a sand pile, so it's suspect to flooding and easily damaged. Have been robbed, skulls taken, and gold teeth extracted from skulls, and body parts taken for who knows what, voodoo, to sell on the black market, who knows. So very welcoming of people because it's spirit, but because one cannot ignore that the graves of these individuals have long been violated. That's kind of what I'm getting here. Okay. Now, I want to know, I just want to ask real quick if I should shuffle before each card or if the cards are as they should be. So, can you show me yes, please? It's clearing. It's clearing, it's clearing, and yes is a clockward spiral. Can you show me no, please? No, it's counterclockwise. Should I shuffle and cut for each card? That's a no. Are all the cards where they need to be right now? And that's a yes. Okay, thank you. All right, so we can proceed. So, the ancestors at the Lincoln Cemetery in Orange City, what do they think of me? I love that. Look, he's a dowser. What was I doing there? I was dowsing. Four of Coins is Four of Pentacles. I consider this a very high honor that they think of me this way. Um, Pentacles are money, yes. They are health, yes. They're also value, the way you value your life, life in general, the earth. It's value, it's ethics, it's groundedness. Um, he's a dowser, he's a man that finds water, but that it's Four of Coins. He is respectful of the energies that he's working with. He's grounded in the energies he's working with. He's respectful, uh, not showy. That's quite a compliment, what they think of me. An absolute sneezing fit I felt coming on, so I stopped the camera and helped myself. And I just noticed that you can see my twitching feet. See, the back seat used to be here. I took it out. And I sit down there. I've got one of those pads that you put in your kitchen for when you're, so you don't have fatigue when you're um, working in the kitchen, anti-fatigue mats. It's a real thick one because it's not even, because the seats used to fit in there. But I sit there and that's where I sit and do a lot of things. Anyway, and I'm sitting on I have storage under here where I'm sitting. Anyway, okay. So, as I sit today in this reading, the ancestors are making me the Queen of Cups, which is a great, great compliment. I'm coming with love. Do they welcome me? Did they welcome me to investigate them? The bridge I have to cross, the spiritual tests, ethical tests I have to make, they are welcoming. Seven of Swords, they are welcoming, but they're careful, they're attentive. Okay? And then what the ancestors think of me is they gave me Four of Pentacles, which comes up as a dowser, and I was dowsing. Very nice. So I understand the electromagnetic forces involved, and they recognize that I do, and they see that I am careful and respectful of it and them. Okay? So the next card is, this is what I think of these people. That's the Fool. In Miss McQuiller's deck, it's the Free Man. And that's pretty accurate about what I think about them. Leaving this life, they're creating a new journey. It's a good card. I love these cards. They're just gorgeous. They're this sepia. I don't have any special filters on. They are this sepia. Okay, so they're free, starting a journey over, and their hands are pretty much empty. They've got their familiars and whatnot nearby. Okay, so what was my goal today in going to the Lincoln Cemetery? Well, first I should say, going to the Lincoln Cemetery was not even my goal. My goal ultimately, initially, the one that I prayed for last night to bring any spirit in that wanted to speak, was that I would go to the Methodist Memorial Cemetery, which has less than 100 people in it, and the church is gone. The Methodist church is gone. But when I got out there on an unincorporated part of the city after a long dirt road, it's like 2 miles of dirt road to get out to it. It's on private property, and I won't walk on private property or drive on private property like that. I just won't do it. So who was communicating with me today at Lincoln was either, as I said, they were there because something about the cemetery keeps them there, or they heard my telegram. shall we say. But anyway, so what was my goal today in going to the Lincoln Cemetery? Ace of Swords. Isn't that beautiful? Look at that. It's a gorgeous knife with, somebody will know what that kind of knife is. I don't know. But it's a knife with some gree-gree hanging off the end. My goal was to open up to some new thinking. Tap into some new thinking. Release something. I mean, when I go to a cemetery, it's always about my trying to connect with anyone who feels that they have something that's keeping them at a level there that is inhibiting them in some way. And I try to frequency match, it's the only way I can describe it, to hold that frequency for them and become kind of an alchemical pot so it can process. And then the Ace of Swords in that case would be like a breakthrough, a freeing, because in the Rider Waite, there's the sword, and it's garlanded with, it's the laurel and something else. What is it? But one is freedom and one is bravery, right? Anyway, it's a freeing, it's a renewal. That's always why I go to a cemetery. Okay. So now the next card represents the unexpected. Well, the unexpected. Before I even lay the card, the unexpected was that I wasn't planning to go to this cemetery. I was planning to go to the other. So I was not really prepared to go to this cemetery. But let's see what the unexpected was. Page of Swords. This deck, daughter is page, son is knight. So this is the daughter of knives. So this is the Page of Swords. Well, we know the Page of Swords is the spy. And that's kind of interesting, right? Because, this card, did the ancestors approve of me being there? What is the bridge that I have to cross? What was the bridge that I had to cross to make the connection with them? It's the Seven of Swords, which is, you're smiling and you're not showing the arrows in your quiver, essentially, right? So that was the bridge I had to cross. They were welcoming me, but they were watching me very, very closely. And actually, that's how I felt. The two people that presented themselves were mostly they were watching. And that Tom Turkey was definitely watching me. And at some point, those grasshoppers, they had totally surrounded me. I don't know if the sound came through, and I'm sure you couldn't see it, but they had completely surrounded me. I was surrounded by grasshoppers. Completely surrounded by grasshoppers. So, what was the unexpected element? I'm distracted because someone pulled into the parking lot right next to me. I have limo tinting on my windows, so you can't see in, but they pulled in right next to me, and they've got really loud music playing, and they opened their windows, and the music's really loud, and there's a toddler in the back seat, and I don't think he can see me with his eyes, but he seems to know I'm here, and he's looking at me nonetheless, so I'm distracted by that, and if you might hear the music. Anyway, so Page of Swords was the unexpected. I guess, it being a black cemetery in Florida, they're cautious, they're suspicious, they don't come real forward like some do. They have to be very protective. They had to be very protective. Just like here. They had to be very protective. I mean, I would say that that was the most protective that I have felt. Uh, some cemeteries, you just don't get anything. You just get kind of a blank. You see like a blank screen. They came forth, but they didn't reveal much. Okay? Unexpected. What was this encounter that I made today going to do? How is this encounter going to impact me? Sorry, I had to stop the camera. Well, the one of the people closest to me got out of the car and they were talking really loud to the toddler, so I just stopped the camera. But actually, um, what kind of impact was this encounter today going to have on me? And this is 11, which is the Justice card. In this deck, it shows up as Dr. Buzzard, but you see the scales there. Now, I am not, books come with tarot cards. I don't really read books. There is a really beautiful book that comes with this deck. I mean, it's like a full-sized paperback book that has a lot of detail about why these individual images were chosen, the heritage behind them. She also ties in, if you are a root worker, she ties in stones, colors, and herbs. Uh, if you're doing various kinds of hoodoo healing, and I didn't. I've looked at the book, but I don't really read it because I'm not using it for hoodoo. I like the images. This is a wonderful deck to use with spirit, and that's why I chose it. Because hoodoo is all about your ancestors. Um, so I don't know. I don't know who Dr. Buzzard was. I don't know the story there. Um, but you can see there's Justice, and she's holding her light, and there's the scales. So this position is what is this? How is this going to this? Because it's not just that I went today. The people that reached out to me are. It wasn't just a one-way thing. I can still feel them watching me. They're around me now, and it is not unusual for individuals that reach out to me at cemeteries to be with me for some time. When I go to Indian mounds, and there are several around here, I feel those. I feel those beings around me. Sometimes months, um, without a doubt. Um, so, how is this going to impact my life? Justice. Well, again, the reason that I go to cemeteries, and I go to the kind of cemeteries I do, the abandoned cemeteries, the pioneer cemeteries, the black cemeteries especially, or Indian mounds, um, is to offer um, the opportunity for, like, there are people that have really idiotic YouTube channels that are just about entertaining you and hoodwinking you with their spirit boxes and all that crap. And it's business. It's just a business. They're looking to do what they can to get you to pay them. I'm not getting paid for any of this. Even when I go to a cemetery and do work at a cemetery, or de-haunt a house. I don't ask to get paid. If people want to pay me, they can. If they want to buy me a bottle of wine or whiskey or cook me a meal, that's fine, but I don't expect any money for it. This is just another form of communication. It's one I choose to develop and work with, and it's um, but like there are people that will go to clear a property, clear a spirit, and it's not like, oh God, they just turned their music up. I'm sorry, I know you can hear that. Oh my gosh, they think they're next to somebody that's not in their car. um, I'm going to the people who need help releasing something so they can move off of this plane where they're stuck. That's why I go. I go to perform an act of balancing and justice for them. And every time that I do that, I'm going to sneeze again. Every time that I do that, I feel like I clear something of myself as well. So that's very lovely. Now the bottom of the deck, which is something that I always check, because that's the energy that's underneath the surface. Um, Interestingly enough, I did a reading yesterday, and I was preparing myself for what I thought was going to be the visit to the Methodist Memorial today, and I was asking those around me, my ancestors, whether they're my blood, and I'm adopted, so I don't know who my ancestors are. My ancestors, in whatever plane of relationship that they exist, I was asking them to come in and be present and help me support the individuals at this abandoned black cemetery that was Methodist Memorial that I was not allowed to go to today. And when I did this reading yesterday, speaking to those ancestors, my soul tribe, the card that came up as the way they see me, which in this case, these individuals today identified me as the Four Coins. This is how they saw me yesterday. My ancestors, my soul tribe, Son of Knives, which translates to Knight of Swords. So, someone with a purpose, someone with a mission, clever, willing to think outside the box. I mean, the image is of a young man. It can go both ways, right? And the image is a young man with a switchblade and what looks like might be a pack of cigarettes standing outside the church. So you can interpret that in a lot of ways. Is he protecting the church? Is he expressing these parts of himself in spite of the church? Anyway, Knight of Swords has a purpose. He's in a hurry. He has a passion. That sword in his hand, he ain't afraid to use it. He's got that intellectual edge, and he'll take it to whatever battle he needs to. Again, remember, we had the Seven of Knives. We just started with women. We started with women, we ended with men. But I'm coming up as a man in that regard. But anyway, bottom of the deck is the way my ancestors identified me yesterday, which was the Knight of Swords. Not afraid to pull my sword out and protect what I need to protect. Let's go. Let's do this. What do we need? What do we need to fix? Interesting. Very nice. So, this is a very good reading. They're indicating to me that they find me in the right heart space. They're cautious. because they have to be. It's a black cemetery that's essentially abandoned. How do they see me? They see me as one that's capable and disciplined and connected enough to the earth and a sense of value that I can find that water. I can find that message. I see them as free, being able to start over, start a new journey. What was my goal? My goal was to release any information that needed to be released. What was unexpected? Page of Swords. A change in plan. A needing to kind of, how do I say this? You know, the strongest energy I got, as I said, was from the Tom Turkey, who definitely was running the joint. Without a doubt, he was running the place. That was the strongest energy. And I had to walk carefully within that, within his domain. And how is this going to impact my life, this exchange I had today? Well, it's bringing about justice. Well, justice is a decision, if nothing else. Justice is a decision, a balancing of scales. That's always why I go to a cemetery, to release information, to create a balance. Balance isn't for me overtly, the balance is for whoever's calling me. But all of these things impact me as well. Certainly they do. I'm going to, that was very nice. That was very, very nice. Let me put these here real quick. That little toddler in that car, I know he can't see me, but he knows I'm here. He's looking right at me, even though he can't possibly see me. This is a deck I haven't spent much time with yet, but let's see. Let me just, let's see if I can get a card, and then I'll get my rune cards as well. Is there anything that needs to be clarified? I think I'd like a little more clarification on this Page of Swords, this Daughter of Knives. Can I get a little more? Don't you love how this is teal? Can I get and I didn't, when I ordered these cards, I didn't know that this was teal, so that was a lovely surprise. Can I find out a little bit more? Can I get a little clarification on this Daughter of Knives, which is the Page of Swords? A little more clarification on the Page of Swords, please. Because I think whatever comes today is not going to be anything in words, because mostly what came through the animals, and that is going to come as a knowing over time. It's not going to be words. So a little more clarity. One card, please. A little more clarity on that. Daughter of Knives, Page of Swords, please. One card, please. One card. So you see it's a skeleton. This is a deck about regeneration and transformation. He's, that little boy, he's looking up at my long, on my roof is my long solar panel. It's a skeleton with its mouth open. It seems like it's smiling, and it's surrounded by, they aren't roses, but meadow. Success, positivity, blessings. Interesting. So I asked for a clarification of the Page of Swords, Daughter of Knives, You see how there are hands reaching to her, like the ancestors are reaching toward her, and she's holding her own. Well, this is letting me know that because I did this work, I went in and it was very covert. I mean, I wasn't really communicating with the people. The people were communicating with me through the animals, which is very covert. And that's going to prove to be a very positive element in my life. Interesting. Fascinating. And the bottom of the deck, because I always look at the bottom of the deck. Apprentice. Higher education, beliefs, wisdom. So bottom of the deck for me always means what's under the surface, what's not real obvious. I'm always learning. This work that I do with the trees and the water and spirits in old and abandoned cemeteries is better than all the college I paid for. All right. Very, very positive. Extremely positive. Let me put this away. And let me just finish with, let me get some rune cards. I haven't done much with these cards, so I don't have a lot of intuition about them yet. Same with the runes. I haven't worked with them enough to really be intuitive about them. But given the way I live in my car, I felt that cards would be easier than actual stones. So overall clarification for some runes. We'll do three. We'll do 3 cards. Overall clarification from some runes, please. Overall clarification from some runes. Whatever needs to be clarified, may the runes help do that for me. Let's see what we got. Rydal, I know I'm saying all these wrong. I have to look. Travel both in physical form and those in lifestyle direction, a journey, vacation, resolution, evolution, change of place or setting, seeing a larger perspective. Well, you know, I have to say, this always gives me the opportunity to see in a larger perspective. The more work that I do with the elementals and spirit, the larger perspective I see. Hagalas, I apologize to all the Norse people because I know I'm saying this wrong. Wrath of nature, destructive, uncontrolled forces, especially the weather or within the unconscious, tempering, testing, trial. Right there. Okay, so last card. Manas, the self, the individual, the human race, your attitude toward others and their attitudes toward you, friends and enemies, social order. So the gaining of a larger perspective through the tests of the natural way, spirit, the elementals, right? This is not easy work. This is not easy work. Ask anyone who talks to spirit or the elementals. We get sick sometimes. We get uncontrollable headaches, diarrhea, upset stomachs, especially if you're a person that, I don't remember the clair where you feel their pain or their demise, but whatever that clair is, I have that clair. When I was in the cemetery a couple weeks ago, Enterprise Evergreen, and I had this white hot poker of a pain in my head, and I couldn't find anything about this woman, but I believe that she had a stroke. So this is very hard work, and you know, you see things you don't want to see. When I used to work with the trees at Fort Matanzas, I saw the slaughter of indigenous people, it would have been the Seminole and the Timucua. And I believe that I was Timucua. I saw the slaughter of the French, the Huguenots there. And that stuff doesn't just go away. It never goes away. It will temper you if you let it. It will temper you if you let it. It will temper you if you get grounded and you let it. So, traveling, journey into the depths, up into the heights of spirit, evolving, learning, growing through the testing of the natural elements brings me a new attitude about not only myself, but the humans around me and the ancestry of the human race. Bottom of the deck. Ansu's revealing message or insight communication signals inspiration, enthusiasm, speech, true vision, power of words, naming blessings, the taking of advice. Very much so. I listen very intently to my ancestors and all the way that they speak, whether they're ancestors of my actual life or history or bloodline or family, or if it's just the ancestors that I encounter like I did today. I doubt that I'm related to any of those people, but they're all our ancestors. People used to say, you're white. Why do you clean up black cemeteries? Because all the dead are all our ancestors. That's why. Okay. These images have given me a lot to ponder. And it was actually very helpful for me, because when I don't get a lot from the spirits themselves, sometimes it takes days and dreams and different synchronicities that I will walk through to get what that was about. But these cards were very helpful. So, mostly it seems like an affirmation. I didn't go there to be affirmed. I went there to be of service. I always go to be of service. And whenever you are of service, whether you get paid or not is really of no consequence, because what you gain in value is beyond measure. Indeed. That's part of her too. Okay, so I'm gonna let this be where it is. I don't feel like there's anything else I need to look at. I don't know the actual exact names of any of those people. I mean, I could go to findagrave.com and I could look it up, and based on whatever I was able to read, correct or incorrect, about their names from what I could see, I could find out their name. And if someone had been so kind to add death certificates and whatnot, or some family member had gone in and added familial relationships and things, then I would learn that. But I don't feel called to. I don't feel called to do that. I don't feel the need. Curiosity and wanting to impress people is the worst thing to have in this work. That's your ego interfering with what you're there for. So, I don't let my curiosity reign there. So I'm not going to look it up because I don't need to. Whatever I was called there to do, I did. The turkey flexed at me and let me know that he was in charge and he was watching me, and so did the hawk, and so did the grasshoppers. They absolutely let me know that I was being watched very closely, and ultimately they let me be. So I guess I passed the test. So that's going to be that. I'm going to go ahead and put this up. And so thanks. See you next time.